Yeah, me
But,
too.
yeah, that'll be
That's
good. That'll be fun.
that is perfect for me. All right, boo. That's just me and you today, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I get a
First,
private session.
yes.
VIP.
First, I want you to take 3 deep breaths. Make sure you fill up that tummy. We're also stimulating our lymphatic system, which is awesome for our immune system. If any resistance comes up, go ahead and write that down. We will address it. And then any questions that come up.
Okay.
All right. Feel good?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Tynesia Evans. I own One Brilliant Body Functional Nutrition and Wellness, where I help teach you how to utilize the symptoms of your body to get to the root cause to heal what's actually going on. I don't create meal plans. I don't take your food away from you. I actually want you to see food differently, restructure your mind to build your brilliant body by using food as nutrition and food as medicine. I also teach you lifestyle changes, which is called functional medicine, which will help you to facilitate healing in our bodies. Our bodies are brilliant. They let us know what's going on with them all the time. We just don't understand how to read and decipher what's actually going on. So we treat the symptoms. But I want you to understand a new way, which is going to be treating the root cause, and that will eliminate or heal your symptoms. So this is week 3 of our Brilliant Body Boost. We are doing awesome. You guys are hanging in there with me. Thank you so much for being here. So today we are going to talk about, actually didn't pull up my little note. It is strategies to boost, simple strategies to boosting your immune system, as well as nutritional choices, preferences that will help to build and boost your immune system as well. So I'm going to get right on into it. First, we're going to start with things that don't work well for our immune systems and can cause an inflammatory response. Now, inflammation looks a little bit different for everyone. Oh, sorry about that. Let me turn my phone off. People text me. Looks a little bit different for everyone. So I'm going to talk about a couple of different ways that inflammation can show up and subtly cause issues in regards to your brilliant body, subtly cause you problems, or subtly cause you to not be functioning at full capacity in regards to your immune system. And I also wanted to talk a little bit. I did a video, I did an interview actually last night talking a little bit about COVID because some things have changed. So you guys remind me if I forget, somebody write that down for me. It's not a part of what we're going through, but it is a part of what we're going through in our real life. So I want that to be a part of what I'm talking with you about today. So please, somebody write that down and remind me. And let's get on into it. Videos. Okay, it's not there. Let me check one more spot. I had it saved. There it is. Innate chronic inflammation. All right, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Perfect. Hey, everybody that just joined. I'm just starting. You haven't missed anything. Take 3 deep breaths still. Let me know if you have anything that comes up as resistance, any questions that come up. And we're also clearing our lymphatic system with full breaths. So you want to make sure your tummy's full. You want to make sure you breathe it out with a good forced amount of air. And you want to actually feel all the good neurotransmitters and all that good, that serotonin kind of rush through your body. That's a full breath that will help to stimulate your lymphatic system. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, so we're starting with things that are actually damaging to our immune system. So I think most of you know this, but we'll kind of go over them. Soda. Processed sugar is the main reason why it's going to cause you a lot of issues in regards to your immune system. The sugar is processed, it's going to damage your immune system, it's going to increase the fat in your body. Do you know that your body actually recognizes additional fat cells or extra fat cells or excess fat cells as another opportunity to attack? So if your immune system is so busy attacking the extra fat that you choose to have on your body or that you feel you can't get rid of, you're actually stimulating a mild autoimmune response. So that can be called an autoimmune disorder as well. So obesity is considered an autoimmune disorder because your immune system is actually trying to fight or protect you from excess fat cells in your body, no matter where they are. Processed foods. We talked about this a little bit last week. Processed foods are not recognized by the body as actual food. It tries its best to decipher what nutrients that it can from processed foods, but they're usually isolated, which means they're too large a molecule to be accepted by the body, or they've been processed so much that the body just doesn't recognize them at all. So processed foods is number two. Foods and drinks that are high in sugar. So foods and drinks that are high in sugar. So not necessarily just a food and not necessarily just a drink. It's actually going to be both. If they're high in sugar, it's not going to work well in the body. I just kind of talked about that with the soda. So your body is going to see it as just a high fat or a high sugar item. It's going to damage your immune system and actually creates inflammation in the body, which is as a result of injury, which your body treats those types of foods as foods that can cause injury to the body and induce inflammation. Refined carbohydrates. So again, this is just like processed foods. If it's been so processed so the body doesn't understand or recognize readily what it is going to be problematic for your body. There's no way for your body to understand what type of nutritional density that it can derive from a food it doesn't recognize. And eventually your body can kind of figure out, okay, I guess there's a little bit of vitamin K. Let me take and use that. But that means there's a large amount of waste in your body. So you've just filled your stomach with foods or with an item that you ate that is actually that's not allowing you any opportunity to increase nutritional density or to support your brilliant body. So that's going to create inflammation because now you've consumed waste pretty much. So that's what a lot of people hear when they say empty calories. That is not the best thing to call it, but it basically is. So you're eating just to eat. It's not doing anything for your body. So alcoholic beverages, we all know. Now listen, there are some alcoholic beverages that are not damaging to the body. There would have to be, we'd have to go into a little more detail and a little more depth into that. But there are some alcohols that are actually good for the body, that are actually beneficial, I should say, for the body. Now, I'm not saying all the way until you're tipsy or all the way until you're drunk. Of course, that's a response of your body because your body doesn't know necessarily where to put it. But alcohol in certain amounts can actually be medicinal to your body, but that would be something we would have to discuss at a different time. But limiting the type of alcohol, and even if you do consume alcohol, limiting it, but also making sure it's high quality, because again, it's going to be processed by your liver and processed in your body a lot differently than something that would be less beneficial. So I don't want you to think good or bad. There's more beneficial and there's less beneficial. Again, you guys always know what I say. I want you to have the best quality option out there that you can. If it's not the best quality option, you can still make your decision, but you need to know your goal should always be what is the best quality option I can have here. All right. And then processed oils. So we've all seen them in the store. They're the cheaper ones, usually way up top or way at the bottom. But you want an oil that's actually going to benefit your body. Avocado, flaxseed. What else do we have? A super delicious olive oil. Those types of things. Cold press oils, so where they're cloudy. I know that a lot of us tend to look at the cloudy oils and that doesn't look appealing at all. But think about all of those nutrients that are in there. That's why it's cloudy. You're actually not just getting the oil. You're not just getting the essence, but you're getting bits of the peel. You're getting a bit, probably the density from the seed that's inside. So you're getting more than just an oil. So again, like I said, if you love olive oil, I love olive oil. So give yourself the opportunity to get the best quality. And yes, you don't have to do it all the time if you don't like it, but sometimes mix it in there. Maybe take the cold pressed whole olive oil and mix it with a little bit of your cold pressed clear olive oil or more see-through olive oil. You want to get as much nutritional density as you can with every opportunity because your body is constantly under attack. And it's not attack like we're in just a war zone, but our bodies are doing so much work for us. Anytime we put something in our mouth, think about supporting your body first because it's doing so much work that you're unaware of. You want to make sure you constantly are putting that gas back in the car instead of only going when you're empty. All right. So any of these foods, like I just said, can actually cause an inflammatory response in the body. So we didn't really talk in depth about this, so I am going to talk in depth about it now. If I go too fast, please let me know. If I need to repeat something, please let me know. If there's a concept you don't quite understand, again, let me know. This is for you. So these types of foods can create inflammation in the body. So I'm going to give you a timeline here. So injury is when we're doing or causing some type of unnatural response to our body. Injury can be from food, injury can be from not enough nutritional density, injury can be from swallowing something we're supposed to, when you maybe swallowed a seed and it scratched you on the way down a little bit. That's an injury. After injury, inflammation happens. Okay. So that can be a burning tummy. You know how when you've burped a little bit and it feels hot or it burned in your throat? That's an inflammatory response. That's not necessarily just your stomach acid. Sometimes that's an inflammatory response. I'll give you another example that a lot of people don't know. If you drink coffee just so you can poop, that's an inflammatory response that you're creating in your body. So you're drinking it because you know it'll make you poop, which means you have a problem with pooping on your own. So those are the types of things I'm saying. If you find yourself consciously doing something, or maybe unconsciously, oh, I need to poop this morning, let me drink some coffee instead of getting some hot water or getting some lemon water. Your body's actually relying on that caffeine overload just to be able to allow you to eliminate your bowels. There's something else going on. So these are the subtle things that I want you to begin to notice about your body. Another fun fact, our bodies respond most positively to those tiny nutritional changes that we make. So begin to take note what's going on with your brilliant body. The same way we do, like when a lot of us, if any of you, I think a lot of you are parents, when you're around those sweet little babies and you're like, how many wet diapers, how many soiled diapers? You need to do the same thing for yourself. That doesn't change. You're making sure that their bodies are functioning optimally, right? You're making sure that they're getting enough nutritional density from their formula, their breast milk there, or whatever you're feeding them at the time, right? You need to be doing the same thing for you, because for you as an adult, you have the opportunity to switch things out. Now you can understand, like, oh, when I ate that piece of cheese yesterday, it was really difficult to poop. Or maybe I ate some vegan cheese and it was still really difficult to poop. So don't think that it's just because it's animal based, it may automatically be the problem. For some people, that's not the issue at all. But nutritional density is what I want you to focus on. And in this case, I want you to try to eliminate as much inflammation as you can by locating what foods or nutrition are causing injury to your body. Okay, so a balanced immune system includes internal and external threats. I'm going to talk a little bit about both of those. So autoimmunity and an allergy would be an immune overreaction. So what that means is there's a constant state of inflammation in your body that your body is responding to in a way of causing an autoimmune issue or disease or disorder, or an allergy. So we think that allergies are dormant, but that's a constant thing that's going on. So allergies are an internal response to an external threat. So autoimmunity is an internal response to an internal threat. So your body thinks there's actually something going on inside, and that something is inflammation. So that's why I want to caution you all to not just think like, oh, it's just an autoimmune issue. Oh, it's just my joints, they hurt sometimes. Really think cognitively about that, because we have our lymph nodes are actually different lymph stations. Think of your lymph nodes as, let's think about it as our mechanic shop. So we have to get the car towed, or the bacteria or the invader towed to that spot so that it can get taken care of, so we can get out all the bad stuff. Maybe you get the tire out and we get a new tire, and then it moves on through the rest of the body. But if you have caused so much inflammation in your body that your lymph nodes are constantly working, they're overworked, right? There's too much labor going on there. When your body draws any type of inflammatory response to that area, it's not going to be resolved. It's actually going to overload those lymph nodes. And that's when we tend to have pain here. We tend to have pain in the growing area, under our arms. For women, it gets into our breasts. Any of those areas can cause any type of soreness or issues that are non-hormonal, because sometimes people get hormonal tenderness in their breasts. That is from an internal threat. So that means you may be physically fine. You may be at a good weight. You may feel perfectly fine, but there could be some autoimmunity issues that you have going on where your body is actually fighting something that's going on in your body. Now, I don't like the way that our medical professionals explain autoimmunity to you, because they make you think that your body has made a mistake and is thinking that your healthy tissue is actually not healthy tissue. That's incorrect and inaccurate. Your body is actually responding to tissue that is inflamed, which means it's unhealthy. So an autoimmune issue means that there is something inside, some inflammatory issue that is currently going on. And if it's consistently going on, then you need to do whatever it is you need to do. I would suggest an elimination diet probably first, to eliminate things that are going on in your diet and life that are causing you that inflammatory response. So we're trying to get to a balanced immune system. So again, another example would be an internal threat would be cancer, and an external threat would be infection. So if there's an infection on the outside, our body's going to try to fight it and keep it from coming in. However, cancer is grown on the inside. So something that gets past, maybe a cancerous cell. Here's another fact: we fight cancer cells every single day. We're probably fighting some right now. Not to freak any of you out, but your body is brilliant. I'm telling you that. Your body knows exactly what it needs to do. Now, if there is an opportunity, a diminished opportunity, to where your body has a moment where it's not able to actively fight as much as it has been, it doesn't have the support that it's needed, it can reproduce those cancer cells. They're called abnormal cells first, and then they're grown into cancer cells. So what I want you to begin to do is, how can I support my body to continue to do what it already knows to do? So again, how can I support my body to continue to do what it already knows to do? Because we are constantly coming in contact with cancer cells. And by the grace of God, we've either healed it, or by the grace of God, we haven't grown cancer in our bodies. But it is an internal job. Cancer is an inside job. Inflammation is an inside job. These are things that I want you to begin to plan to protect your body. Any questions or concerns? Okay. All right. So immune imbalances that come from inflammation can be due to oxidative stress. We talked a little bit about that, not taking care of your body, not allowing your body to age gracefully, too hard at the gym, stress, not acknowledging those areas that are sore, thinking that, your autoimmune diseases or autoimmune issues are just, oh, my body's got it wrong. That's not what it is. I want you to really focus on healing. So gene transcription or modulation, that can come from, this runs in my family. It possibly could, but I want you to change that language. The exposure, the response runs in my family. Therefore, I have the opportunity to empower myself to not allow my lifestyle to bring me down that road. So that's what I want you to think of. Just like diabetes. Diabetes is not run in the family. However, if you continue to eat the way maybe 6 aunties and uncles that grew diabetes in their body, of course, you're next on the list. It just is what it is. So you have the propensity to grow diabetes in your body based upon that lifestyle choices, those food nutritional choices that were taught to you. But I want to use that as an empowerment tool to say, let me use that as an example, because I don't want that to be my future. I don't want that to be my present. I don't want that to be grown in my body. Inflammatory mediators. So understanding what your inflammatory mediators are. Think about when you're eating, what makes you feel good, what doesn't make you feel good, what your stomach responds to, how quickly your food goes through your body. I know that we often, I hope that you all that have purchased the book can actually begin to see, like, okay, I ate that at 12. By 12:30, I felt it, I felt my intestines moving a little bit. Maybe by the evening, I had a good poop. Like, really think about, how is this food traveling through my body? Was I constipated the next morning? Was my morning poop on time, or was it late? Was my urine yellow, or was it green, or was it clear? How is this working in my body? Are the changes that I'm making, is my body positively responding to it? Tissue damage. So there is a saying for nurses, time is tissue. This is absolutely right, because toxicity stores in our tissues, even our muscle fibers. So taking the opportunity to make sure that you're doing everything you need to do to nourish this brilliant body. So that's food, nutrition, your mental health, your physical health, emotional health, spiritual health. There is a reason that we have this myofascial tissue. It actually can absorb a lot of our emotional issues that we have going on, creates a lot of knots in our body. Those knots are potential forms of inflammation. They're an inflammatory response. Your body is going to think that, oh, okay, let me go fight that. That continued process is going to cause an autoimmune issue. That autoimmune issue is going to show up in the part of your body that is probably the weakest or having the most trouble. So it can show up as arthritis. It can show up as, like I said, endometriosis. It can show up as tummy issues or Hashimoto's or all kinds of things. So you really want to figure out my body, just focus. My body has inflammation. It is what it is. What can I do to support my body to heal this inflammation or to drain it out? That's what we're focused on. I want you to be able to clear that inflammation out of your body. Otherwise, continued and prolonged, those environments being prolonged will cause you oxidative stress. So the goals are to eliminate the initial cause of the cellular injury. That was what I was saying. Identify what's actually going on as soon as you feel it. I know right now you probably feel a little bewildered, like, I don't know how I got here. But once you start to cognitively think about, okay, how am I feeling right now? Okay, I just had a meal. How am I feeling right now? You'll begin to notice those subtle changes. Does your skin feel a little clammy? Did you get a little bit hot when you ate? Did your tummy burn a little bit? Was there a little bit of pushback in the tummy? Did your intestines feel like they were all warped and really going for it? Was your peristalsis slowed down? Really, once you start to really focus in on your body, even take a minute to sit quietly if you need to. That's a part of what will work well for you. I use this tip. I don't think I've shared this before. So when you bless your food, yes, we're blessing our food. We're focused on God and all that good stuff. Do a body check real quick. How's my tummy feel right now? Am I super hungry? Okay. All right. And then right after, you know what, Lord, thank you for that food. Again, do a body check. Does my tummy feel too heavy? Did I eat too much? Am I ashamed? There's a lot of shame that comes with food that people don't talk about. So if you ever feel ashamed about something you've eaten or you want to go hide and eat your plate, really take a minute, push that plate back, figure out what's going on. Is it the company you're involved with? Is your body kind of letting you know, hey, please don't eat that. That's not good for us right now. Like, I kind of need you to focus on this meal or this type of food. Really think about that, because that little bit of shame that comes up is usually because there's something going on. It just comes up as a shame response and it's not necessarily beneficial. I don't want you to be ashamed of how you're nourishing your body, but it is a communicative moment between you and your body. So take it seriously. And then removing dead cells and tissue, we talked about that. So supporting your body in autophagy. Autophagy usually happens within that time frame, that 12 to 20 hours, where your body is going to be doing its cleanup. It depends on what rate you're at right now. You could be super efficient and you may not be as efficient as you would like to be. And that's okay, because remember I said, you constantly always have the opportunity to change, transform, boost, reboost, stimulate your microbiome. So think about that. If you want to do, I wouldn't recommend spending any money on testing. I told you guys before, find you a healthcare professional, find you a functional nutrition practitioner, someone like me, someone who's aligned with your goals. I'd rather you invest your money there than trying all these tests and all this stuff like that. So if you're not sure about what's going on in regards to your nutritional transit time, your poop transit time, eat some beets, cook them however you want. You need that color because you want to figure out, okay, I ate the beets at 12. When did I have a full poop and I saw the beet color? You want to find out what that time frame is for your body, and you want to support your body in making sure that's an optimal time frame for you. That would be the best way. And that was how that's often how I test myself to make sure things are good. And if it's too fast, you're not getting the opportunity to absorb the nutrients. And if it's too slow, you're actually creating inflammation and toxicity in your body. So really think about that. Get that number. You guys can text it to me if you want to do the test. If you want to do it this week, you can text it to me or send me an email, and then we could talk a little bit more about what's actually possibly going on in your body. Also, I think to talk to one of you this week about your complete blood panel. A lot of us don't know how to read our blood panels. You need that information because it's going to give you brilliant insight into what's actually going on with your immune system. So the neutrophils, the lymphocytes. I know these are all big, gigantic words. I got you. So don't worry about that. But you need to see a trend and what your white blood cells and your red blood cells are actually doing, because that gives you brilliant insight into how your immune system is functioning. A lot of us think that, and it was brought up last week, that the The lack of illness means that my immune system is good. It actually does not. It means that your immune system is operating functionally, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're good. Your body could be overloaded with an inflammatory disease. Your body could be overloaded with an autoimmune disease. Your body could be overloaded with trying to preserve some of your organs, and it doesn't have time to accept another disease in your body, but you could still be at high risk. So please make sure, if you need some help with that, gather a few of them. I would say gather maybe about, if you can, get about 4 or 5 of your blood tests, your blood panels. Doesn't matter how long ago they were, so that you can look at these numbers. We'll talk about them if you guys want to. We can do an extra call. So we have 5 weeks in this month, but I only did 4. So if you guys want to maybe do like a Q&A session, let me know during this week. We can go over some blood panels so I can tell you what you need to be looking for and what it could potentially mean. You can see disease in your body before it actually produces an actual response. You can see inflammation in your body and your neutrophils. You can see that there are maybe certain areas of your body that need some additional support before you have damaged your organs, before you have caused damage, before a doctor wants to give you some type of medication. And again, I don't want you to get upset with your medical professionals. Seriously, you know that they have like 10 minutes with you. Sometimes they don't have time to say, hey, there's a trend here. You could have A, B, or C. They don't have time for that. But I want you to feel empowered. You own this brilliant body. It's your gift. It's the way that you're able to live and love and enjoy this world. So I want to teach you. I will teach you how to read your blood panels, at least spot treat, so you can know if this goes up. Ty said, call her. Ty said to get on a call. You know, if this goes up by 2%, that means this. If this goes down by 1%, that can mean this. Then you start researching. Your body is yours. It's brilliant. I want you to take care of it. I want you to be able to honor it. And I want you to understand the language that your body uses to let you know what's going on when it requires additional support. And doing a complete blood count with the differentials, it's one of the best. It's one of the best. I learned so much when I started to learn to read blood counts. And of course, I tell you guys all the time, I was my first patient. So being able to see, okay, that did go down 1%. And then I had a yeast infection, or that did go down 1%. And then I was sick, and that I was constipated on that day. And that's why this number is off. You need to know all of that so you can connect the dots, because learning those root causes, like I said, I'm not just going to take you just to, oh, it could be this or that and the other. When you know the root cause, I have a propensity for A, B, and C. So I'm going to make sure that my nutrition is always on point, because A, B, and C is not allowed to flourish in my body. That is where I want you to be so focused. I want you to understand and feel empowered and trust yourself, because you're brilliant. Your body's brilliant, and you want that type of support. You want to know that you can go on vacation and not have to pull out your little list and be like, what can I eat or what can't I eat? But you can know, oh yeah, let me get one of those with one of those. Can you cook it with avocado oil instead of that oil? You need to know that so you can enjoy your life, so you can live your life. All right. Any questions or concerns?
Yes, Ty, I have
Go
a
ahead.
question in regards to the inflammation. Are there other foods in the diet that can cause that besides dairy?
Yes, there are. So I'll go over, I have a little list for you so I can go over those with you.
Okay.
All right. And then the last goal is to initiate the process of repair. So because your body's always going to be doing what it needs to do, I want you to constantly be the initiator of repair. That is in any way that you can. So from our skin, making sure it's exfoliated and making sure it has all the good oils, right? That internal epithelium, like I said before, making sure you're getting the best foods, making sure you're getting the best quality oils, making sure you're getting the best quality nutrition, making sure that you're taking time to rest when you need to, making sure that you create an opportunity for your body to eliminate the way that it needs to. So all of that is truly prioritizing your health, wellness, and nutrition. All right. Additional sources of inflammation. I know I talked a little bit about some, but I want you to think more of a well-rounded way. So cuts, scrapes, burns, splinters, dirt, stitches, microbial toxins, chemical exposures, frostbite, virus, bacteria, yeast, parasites, radiation, trauma, internal, external, emotional, social, spiritual, all of those. Heavy metal, sugar, gluten, dairy, personal food sensitivities, hypersensitivities, nutritional deficiencies, dehydration, hormone imbalances, stress, lack of sleep, autoimmunity, intestinal dyssymbiosis, that just means an imbalance in your intestines, any type of imbalance, medications, chemotherapy, genetics. So you could genetically have some issues. Remember, I said there's a propensity to certain things. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have them. You don't have to accept them, and you can choose nutrition to focus on disease proofing your body and neurotransmitter imbalance. And so again, this is that focus on Alzheimer's, dementia, and diabetes. So really supporting that brain and understanding the connection between hypersensitivities, nutritional deficiencies, and what that can do to your brain in the future. A lot of us don't really think that through very clearly, but there's a clear line that links the two of those. Okay, so I want to talk to you about the difference between acute inflammation and chronic inflammation. So acute means it happens fast within minutes. It can also be a food allergy. So someone who needs an EpiPen or something like that. Chronic inflammation takes time. So when, often when people come to say to me, I used to have so much energy and all of a sudden I can't do anything. That means that was a chronic, a slow over time that happened. So it didn't just happen right away. And sometimes it can happen right away, but most of us notice like, oh my gosh, I used to have so much energy and now I can barely get through the day, or I need a nap, or I need a snack to get me going again. So that's that type of situation. So in your cells, so the cellular was what I was talking about, the whole blood count. So checking out your neutrophils, seeing if there's different percentages or different changes. And then tissue injury or fibrosis. So it's usually the acute, you usually can't quite feel it. We usually don't know until we have some type of nerve issue or cramping, or it's causing issues in our body, or for women, it's bleeding. Understanding the difference between shedding your lining and actually bleeding. Those are two different things. Those are things that you need to discuss with your medical professional. Don't let them tell you it's normal if it doesn't feel normal to you. Again, thinking about those subtle conversations that your body has with you. This doesn't quite feel right. That seems like that's too much, or that's not enough poop, or why is it always so hard or difficult to pass or sit down, or, my tummy constantly hurts after this particular meal or this particular ingredient. So really think about that. Why am I itchy when I wear this company's lotion? They said it's all natural. Let me read the ingredients one more time. So really think about that. Be vigilant about that, because these are businesses. Some businesses are focused on your health, but remember, it is a business. So if there was not integrity in the beginning of it, maybe they gathered it along the way, and that's awesome. But really understand, some businesses are just businesses. So they're going to give you that smell that it smelled wonderful for 100 years and you recognize it in the street, but it may not be best when it gets into your bloodstream. And that's okay. All right. Okay, so I have a list, but I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed with those. Let me go over before. Oh, you know what, Mish? I can answer your question now. So ask me, what was your question again? You said, I can't hear you.
I said, what other foods can cause inflammation besides dairy?
Okay, yeah, let me go back to that. So those were, where did I put them? And that'll be perfect because that'll take us right on in. Sorry, I got so many lists, all the information for you. Okay, so anything that causes you gas or bloating. So remember, we've talked about bio-individuality before. Foods that may bloat me are going to be different than foods that may bloat you. Now, I don't want you to automatically think that a food that causes bloating is problematic. Could have been the way that it was prepared. It could have been how it was combined. This is where food combining actually comes into play. Food combining is just an opportunity for you to create some symbiosis in your body, some balance in your body, but it is not the end all be all. So begin to kind of figure out, make a list, like I said, a running list. This made me feel good, this didn't. So foods that cause any type of gas or bloating, and taking into consideration the way that they were prepared. All right, we talked a little bit about processed oil. So anything that's not natural, if it oil is real, and corn oils, actually, corn is not ever a good option. Only because actual corn is amazing for your body. But the way that our corn is processed right now, most of it is genetically modified. I'm going to say that again. Most of it, like 98% of it, is genetically modified. That's just because of the way that our society consumes corn. The big companies are like, oh, they need corn. Let's just keep on making it. Let's make it however it needs to be made. Let's make it in a lab and let's get it to them because it's a business. Just think about that. It's a business. So it'd probably be best for you to go to a farmer's market and get some real corn, or begin to grow your own corn at home. So those are two really good options if you love corn. But I would say to stay away from like corn oil, canola oil, all these names. And you're like, what kind of plant did that come from? Is that a real oil? It's probably not. So that is a question for you. It's probably not an actual oil. Refined carbohydrates, so cakes and cookies, and that is also because a lot and lecithins. So a lot of the things that we consume is because it feels good and it tastes good from a memory, or it brings comfort, right? Those little hostess cakes, right? It reminds me of high school, and I was like, oh, let's get something sweet. It really wasn't that bad. Even the portion size was correct, but the way that it operated in your body, it was high sugar, it was high fat, it was full of all these chemicals. The cocoa color wasn't even from cocoa powder. So really think about those types of things. If it's not real, if it's not real food, if it's not food that's readily recognized by my body, on the way in, it's going to be an injury to me because my body's going to be giving it pepsin, it's going to be giving it hydrochloric acid, and then it's not actually going to be breaking down because there's no nutritional value in it. Foods and drinks and high in sugar. And I want to actually focus on that for a minute, because now we have these companies that are making these delicious kombuchas and these delicious keepers. And then you look on the back and it's got like 27 grams of sugar. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be the case. This is actually supposed to be a better option. But think about this. These are businesses. So we started saying, hey, we don't want that stuff anymore. We're going to drink kombucha. We're going to make it at home. We're going to, show these recipes on the internet. These companies are doing their research too. Oh, that's what you want? Okay, let's make that. Oh, that tastes horrible. Let's just put some sugar in it. Just put some more. They won't know. It's kombucha. So this big old kombucha on the front, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. And then they say it's ginger and lime, and it's good for this and that. And you drink it, and you're like, this tastes better than what I got at home. Until you look at the back and you realize it's just sugar water or sugar soda at that point. So really, really think about the integrity of these companies that you're choosing to trust your brilliant bodies with. Our bodies have this amazing job to take food and nutrition and make a brilliant body out of it. But if we're not giving it the brilliant nutrition it needs in order to make this brilliant body, we are going to create inflammation. We're creating an inflammatory response. We're creating a body that's inhospitable for us to live in. I want you to really think about that. Is this food? Is this item? Is this drink? Is this environment creating a body that's hospitable for me to live in? And that will help you make a lot of decisions in regards to that. Soda, I know you don't drink soda already, but soda. Also, I want you to think more cognitively about soda as well, because they're getting sneaky with that too. So they have, the delicious soda waters, and some of them are still with the same products. And then they remove the sugar and they put something in there that makes you think it's healthy, like stevia or monk fruit, but it's still soda. It's still a high amount per the amount of water, the amount of soda, the amount of chemicals that is in the bottle. So really think about that. So get really savvy about reading those labels, because we think, like Whole Foods, we think Whole Foods is it. Oh, I can grab anything there, I'll be good. Nope. You got to be very, very careful, because these companies, they'll put like the little, how they're using like the burlap now, and you think like, oh, that has to be healthy. It's natural. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that, because they're understanding, oh, these people want to buy stuff that looks healthy or it feels healthy, and it has just the same amount of chemicals. So be very, very careful about that. So reading your labels, staying away from corn. Let me get the rest of the list here. Any type of tobacco products, you already know that, because it's going to create respiratory inflammation. You don't want to have inflammation in your respiratory organs, especially not now, because COVID actually loves the respiratory organs. So it nestles into that inflammation and it just builds it back into the body. It just shoots it back into the body. All right, so dairies, we already know that. Corn, processed sugar. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed? I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. Any questions on that, honey? No? Okay, good. All right, so let me get back to what I was going to go into. All right. So, big long list here. Slow me down if you need to. It's not a big deal. And if you need me to repeat, that's also not a problem as well. So, chronic inflammatory diseases that you're not necessarily are told are autoimmune disorders or stem from autoimmune issues. So we're going to go, I'll start with cardiovascular. So atherosclerosis, cerebrovascular disease, heart failure, cardiomyopathy, and stroke. Diabetic complications. Some of these are going to kind of overlap. Diabetic complications, cardiomyopathy, atherosclerosis, chronic renal failure. So that's a kidney issue, which can also link over into urogenital inflammation. Sepsis and neuropathy and rhinopathy. And those are just in the areas of the body. If any of these you don't understand, let me know. So neuropathy is in the brain. Rhinopathy is, again, with your kidneys. Chronic inflammatory diseases, IBD, COPD, cardiopulmonary disease, RA, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, that's usually a skin issue, but it can also show up in your scalp. So I want you to be very careful. It can also show up in your scalp. It can show up here. It can show up underneath the eyebrows. It can show on the eyelashes, sometimes in the chin, the cheeks. So really, really think about that. It can show up in the elbows. So don't just think it's limited to one area in the body. Chronic pancreatitis. Okay. Bone and muscular skeletal diseases, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, and muscular dystrophy. This can also include MS. Cancers, particularly lung cancer. We just talked about a little bit about that. Kidney, gastric cancers, colon cancers, pancreatic, and lymphomas. And metabolic disorders. So these are things that are completely within our control. So I really want you to understand that most of this is yes. If you have a question about any of these specifically, I can help you link back. But metabolic disorders for sure, metabolic and neurological for sure are completely 100% within our control. So fatty liver disease, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes as well. CKD, chronic kidney disease, and sleep apnea. Neurological disorders, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. Additional chronic inflammatory diseases, acne, allergies, asthma, celiac, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, chronic pain, Lyme disease, IBS, irritable bowel disease. We talked about diabetes, mental health, mental illness issues, autism, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. We talked about that. Cardiovascular, obesity, insulin resistance, gluten sensitivity, cancers, various cancers, chronic infections, chemical sensitivity, osteoporosis, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and certain types of infertility. Questions, concerns, insight? Well, okay. Okay. I know I'm giving you a lot of information. You can slow me down or ask any questions. It's no problem.
No, this is great. Pretty much everything that people are diagnosed with is caused.
Yes. Yes, right? Absolutely. Yeah, and it's an immune issue, and we're not being told. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's causing a lot of us, we don't get to link our immune system to what's actually going on. So we're thinking, Our immune system's good because we didn't get a cold, but you have CKD or you have osteoporosis or you have diabetes. That's an immune issue. So you need to be focused on your immune system. You need to figure out how to build your body back up, how to heal your body, how to allow your body to get the inflammation out. You don't understand that it's linked to inflammation, and inflammation is caused by injury. And that's something that we can control, that type of injury that we're allowing our body to be exposed to constantly. All right. All right, just gonna pull up my next slide. Give me just a moment. I didn't include this, but I realize many of you have kids, so I did write it up, but we hadn't quite talked about it. So I will talk to you about baby immunity if you guys let me know if that's something you want to talk about. Yeah? Okay. All right. So kids and babies, I'm going all the way through we'll do the first 6 months just so it's quick and easy. This is not advocating for either. This is personal business, but breast milk is very supportive because it provides antibodies, antioxidants, selenium, zinc, enzymes, EPAs, which are your omegas, probiotics, colostrum. And these are all supportive to a baby's growing body because they go directly into the baby's intestines and begin to build into those little walls of the intestine. So babies do come out with a certain amount of immunity already built in from mom. I believe it's from your IgAG, which is a receptor, to where they actually gain the immunity from mom. So this is why a lot of people advocate for not having to immunize their kids. They are born with a certain amount of immunity. I'm telling you scientifically, they are already born with it because they receive it from you, and not just because you were immunized, but because it just comes from our IgAG allows them the opportunity to have a certain level of already functioning immune system. And then the taste buds and the tongue actually are receptors, and it will change the mom's breast milk, allowing them the opportunity to kind of dial in exactly what type of immunity they need and what kind of nutrition they need. So again, like I said, the body's brilliant. It's amazing. So that's why you see different colors of breast milk. That's why, it can be a light blue, it can be almost orange. That baby's tongue is actually communicating with mom's body in regards to what it needs and what adjustments need to be made. And these are another part of the brilliance of our bodies. We lose that over time. So this is what I'm telling you. I really want you to begin to understand the subtleties about what your body is saying to you, because your body has never stopped communicating with you. We didn't know there was communication going on. So we're just doing what we're taught to do. And then we're not being taught by our health and medical professionals that these subtle changes, these subtle cravings, these urgings from our body are actually communicative opportunities for nutrition. Okay, so during, let me go back in there. So yes, there was 0 to first 6 months. Yes, you can do water. I know it's controversial. Some people don't want to include water. Yes, there's enough water in breast milk, but there's also an opportunity to allow water into that baby's body for detoxification purposes. So breast milk is awesome, but it is coming from a body that could have some toxicity as well. So this baby is now also receiving a bit of toxicity from being in this new environment. So there should always be an opportunity to include water, fresh, healthy water, to help that baby's body to learn and begin to understand the process of detoxification. All right, so baby 6 to 9 months, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, and gluten-free. You always want to start babies off gluten-free because you're not sure how their body's going to respond, firstly. Secondly, the way that our glutens are processed are no longer as safe as they used to be. They're highly processed, most of them. That is why some of us can maybe have a little piece of cake and it's not a big deal, but we eat a piece of bread and we're itchy, or our tummy hurts, or we're constipated. They're not processed the same way they used to be. It's not just going out there and getting that wheat and, making it into some good old bread. It just doesn't happen like that anymore because it's become an industrialization of certain types of foods. And just like corn, gluten, and gluten grains or glutens is also another opportunity where it has turned about more into a business. So be very, very careful with grains. So if your child is not plant-based, ghee would be a better option than any type of butter because it's clarified butter and a lot of those solids are removed that can contain a lot of toxins and toxicity. Coconut oils are good, but also, again, you want to make sure that there aren't any allergies that run in the family because coconut oil is a tree nut. And then high vitamins, any type of oil that you're going to use. So the same good stuff that you use for yourself, which is, I'm sure, you guys know this, but on a lot of menus, that kids menu is trash. So don't feed that baby anything that you're not going to feed yourself. Don't feed those kids anything. Don't make them live off of chicken tenders and you don't know where that is or where that came from, what kind of meat that is. Like, don't do that. Like, they need the same type of high level nutritional density that you do. And they're just learning out how to figure out their taste buds. So everything is gross except cookies and mom. And that's okay. But you need to begin to understand how to meet their needs and how to get as much nutritional density as you can in their bodies. Juice Plus, the product, is a great company. It's a great organization. But again, be very, very careful because you don't know what baby's allergic to yet. So even with those types of products, test it out, little bitty bite. Let me see how you're doing. Were you constipated? Your tummy hurt? You all right? Was there energy? Is there too much sugar? So really take the time to think about that. And that brings me to sugar as well. You do not want to get them right on into sugar. Sugar is not even safe for adults. So please, please be conscious and aware of what types of sugars you're feeding your kids or what types of sweeteners you're allowing or introducing into their diets. Again, be very, very careful if you're going to feed them animal products. I'll just go off a list of items that really need to be super vigilant about, and they probably should be avoided at least till a year. And even then, you need to probably do an elimination diet after introducing each of these. So peanuts, tree nuts, fish, shellfish, eggs, be very, very careful. Milk and dairy products, soy, be very, very careful in male or female baby bodies. Wheat and gluten, again, these are things that I think you should go ahead and avoid a lot of these, but not everybody has the same diet. So I'm gonna give you the info. If you want to ask me specifics, that's perfectly fine. And strawberries and sugar, any type of sugar. Okay, baby's first foods, the best option would be squash, pumpkin, carrots, sweet potatoes, yams, and avocado. I would also recommend getting some greens in there, spinach, kale. You can blend them up. You can cover them up if you're not sure if they like them. But I want to urge you to let them try them the way that they are first. You never know. Just because you don't like kale doesn't mean baby may not like kale. And then gluten-free grains to focus on would be quinoa, any of the wild rices, millet, and buckwheat. Please soak all of these before you cook them to make them as nutritionally available as possible and as gently into their bodies as you can. You can do the same for yourself, but we're a little more advanced. But if you ever find yourself unable to really process those types of foods, soaking them first is a really, really awesome option. It makes them much more nutritionally available to the body. When they get into pinching, we're going to go with sliced bananas, sliced apples, pear slices, steamed carrots, and steamed broccoli. Be very, very careful with the carrots and broccoli and make sure to check to see if it caused them any type of inflammatory response, any gas or distended tummy or anything like that. You also want to do the same thing I talked to you a little bit about earlier, making sure the little cheeks aren't turning red after they ate something new. Make sure they're not getting a little bit of sweat or feeling a little bit hot after they've eaten these types of foods. Remember, they're still, they have these tiny bodies. They still have over 30 feet, of intestines that are in there that are growing. So we got to make sure that their body isn't communicating and we're missing the signs. And then fermented veggies. I know that a lot of people don't think that we need these, but remember that baby was getting all of its nutrition from mom. And now you have a fully functional immune system and a fully functional digestive tract that you need to keep healthy. So sauerkraut, pickles, kimchi, try to get something that's not spicy unless you're in a family that is a part of your heritage. Go on with it. And fermented root veggies. So the same type of immune boosting nutrients we use for ourselves, you want to use for the babies too. Excuse me. Vitamins A, D, B. I'm going to put B's with an S. Vitamin C, E, iron, zinc. Be very careful with zinc because it will, right after they take it, it'll change their taste buds. So they'll be extra picky because nothing will taste right. So just a warning there. You can probably do it before bedtime so that they don't notice it so much. And you're like, why won't you eat anything? So maybe do it like right before bedtime, and by the morning they'll be good. Calcium and magnesium. Any questions with the baby immunity? It was like a little bonus. Yay. Nope, good. Okay. All right. Just making sure I went over everything. Okay, last week I talked about supplementation. Did you all have any questions there? Food treatment, okay. Probiotics, we talked about that. Just making sure I went over everything. Okay, we're good there. Lifestyle treatment, we talked about that. And spices. Okay. That's about inflammation, decreasing beneficial. All right. Okay. So if you have your books, okay, I talked about that. If you have your books, now is the time, or this week, I should say, you don't have to do it now. I really want you to begin to focus on creating a plan for yourself. So I brought a couple of things that I do every single day so you guys can kind of see what my plan is for myself. My, I guess regimen is not a plan anymore. My regimen for myself. So I'll go from the morning. So I do my 12 to 16 hour detox every morning. Now, it doesn't necessarily always go into the 16, but I usually do it. So at least the minimum is 12. So I usually don't start to consume anything until I have my morning poop. You want to make sure you always get a poop in. So that's your first one. So the first time you do this, I want you to wait until you poop and see how long it takes. So make sure it's 12 hours from that last meal to that first meal. Now, sometimes I do make sure I stop eating before the 3 hours before I go to bed. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm super busy. Sometimes I'm out with my girlfriends. Sometimes we're snacking and watching a movie or something like that. And but most of the time I try to make sure there's that 3 hours. And sometimes I'm sure you've all experienced this. Sometimes you just don't want to go to bed on an empty tummy. It just doesn't quite feel good. So sometimes I'll make sure I get a little something warm. I do try to stave it off because I don't want to be overwhelmed or have to wake up in the morning. And now, my schedule's off. So making sure you get a morning poop, making sure that you get water first thing. So I use a copper bottle. You can use a copper. You can also just use a bottle. I got this one on Amazon. Make sure it is actual copper. You don't want it to have any issues or not actually be copper. What you want is the copper ions to get into your system because they're actually charged in a way that's going to kill bacteria, antiviral, anti-carcinogenic, and there's something I'm missing, antifungal. So making sure you get that copper water first thing in the morning. You can do it while you're laying in bed. It can be cold. It could not be cold. Please, please, please don't put anything acidic in here. So this is just for water. So I don't want you to put your essential oil in here. And I also don't want you to put your lemon or lime in here. I only want you to, as soon as you wake up in the morning, get your copper ions in your body. That's all this is for. You can make it warm if you would like, but make sure that this is only fresh water. I don't want you to create any type of toxicity or something that's going to cause you any tummy trouble or poison in here, because just the way that, essential oils respond to an actual natural metal, it can grab some of those ions and it can cause some toxicity in your body. I don't want that for you. So that after that, you're going to want to get a liter. I didn't bring my liter cup, but I just get one of those clear, I don't know where I put it. So I'll just use this. So this is 64 ounces. You don't have to drink all of this, but you should be drinking probably about 2 of these a day. Now, if you don't know how much water you need, take your weight, multiply it by 67%, and that is how much. I would say go another half Especially if you're an athlete, I would go another full. So that's usually going to be about 2 to 3 liters. I know a lot of us like to go straight for a gallon, but if you're already having issues with your immunity, if you're already having issues with not creating enough stomach acid, you don't want to just go straight for a gallon because your stomach acid is going to be watered out all day, which means you're not going to digest appropriately. So yes, it's awesome that you got so much water, but every time you eat, you're going to be like, why do I feel awful? And that's just because there's not going to be enough stomach acid to break your food down and give you the nutritional density that you need. So to my water, I like to add a couple of things. Pau de arco. It's a really powerful detoxifier. Green tea, if you like, if you need it. It's also a detoxifier. And it's stimulant free, so it's not going to stimulate you or overwhelm you. If you are, like I talked about last week, if you're trying to kill any bacteria, oregano oil, it's only going to be 1 to 2 drops. Be very, very careful with oregano oil. You don't have to put this in your water. You can actually cook with it. So put it at the end in something that, would taste beneficial. You can put that in your water. Okay. Another option is tangerine. You can also do this in particular to babies in their bottles. Like I said, if they're just like, I'm not drinking that. So make sure it's a glass or a metal bottle. You can put a little bit stainless steel, so not any other metal. So make sure it's stainless steel. They make them now. They're so cool. So stainless steel or glass, put a little drops in there and they won't be like, oh, this is just boring water. They're actually like, oh, but remember, like I said, allow them the opportunity to, get their own little palate. So let them have some water. It's just water. There's still a taste to it. It's still good for them. It's still nourishment for their body. But if you see that they're kind of like, this is boring, start, switching it up. Put a little bit of tangerine. You can also do lime. Now, I want to talk about these two in particular. So lime and tangerine are awesome. They are filled with it's called limonene, limonene, limonene. Incredibly beneficial for the body. And it's incredibly supportive to our immune systems. So limonene is found in many different forms. All of our citrus actually have limonene, but it's only in the skin and in the pith, parts that we usually are not interested in eating. So it'd be awesome for you to find some essential oils that you actually like, citrus-based essential oils, and you're gonna get that delicious limonene into your system. It feels really good. It helps to support you. It helps to detoxify the body. You're gonna love it. So get you a couple oils that you like, or mix a few that you like. And then also, if you're gonna do the oregano oil, the lime and the tangerine, or any other, you could do grapefruit, you could do orange if you'd like, actually will cover up some of the spiciness from the oregano. True Lime is another good company. My only concern with True Lime is that it does have citric acid, but it's citric acid from the fruit, which means it's going to be concentrated. So if you are sensitive to citric acid or you don't want it to be that concentrated, I would say not go with this. But this is only because we're modernized society. Sometimes you don't want to just squeeze, squeeze that lemon every single morning, or squeeze that lime every single morning. And you can just use a couple packs of this and put it in your water. Because the only ingredient here is lime oil and lime juice. So remember, I said, take those companies into consideration. I've called them. They did say it's farm to packet with this. They have an orange, they have a lemon, and they also have grapefruit. But again, if you're not interested in this, you can use the essential oils. I keep it in my bag. I keep it with my water, or I just constantly put it in, just put a couple drops. So those are great options. And then tea tree. I wouldn't say tea tree you would need internally, but tea tree, remember I talked about our lymph nodes. So tea tree, be careful with this directly on your skin. I'm not sensitive to tea tree. When you first try it, I want you to put a little bit right here. If it turns red or if it gets hot, you're sensitive to it, so be very careful. And then I would recommend that you would mix it with some type of carrier oil. But with tea tree, you're gonna rub it on your hands, get a couple drops, mix it however you need to mix it. We're going to put it right here under this lymph node areas, put it underneath this armpits. Ladies, you want to put it right in between the breasts or underneath, right in that growing area. And you're really going to try to support those lymph, little gas station stops I was talking about, and actually pushing out the toxicity that could be stuck there. You're going to want to massage a little bit, maybe make it a little warm. It'd be best to do it after your bath because your pores are all excited and open and ready to get some good stuff. So just, pat it on in there underneath the armpits, underneath and between the breasts, and then right in the groin area. And then you can sleep like that, and you can wash it off in the morning. The smell's usually gone by morning anyway. But do that a couple times just to support your lymphatic system. If you are having problems pooping, I would say to go with Himalayan sea salt. I put the recipe up on my webpage. I don't want you to do this more than once a week. If you do this more than once a week, or you need to do this more than once a week, that means you could be having some problems with your motility. You can get this from Walmart. I wanted you guys to see they have good stuff at Walmart. So there's a company, Sam's Choice. I think you can get it at Sam's Club too because of Sam's Choice. So they're big chunks. I didn't bring it. They're big, they're good, big chunks of pink salt, and one ingredient, pink Himalayan sea salt. So I put the recipe up on my Instagram page. It is I think it's 1 to 2 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons, I think, no, 2 teaspoons. I'm not sure, honestly, don't quote me. But you're gonna do the amount of teaspoons to a liter of water. You're gonna drop an oil in there if it doesn't taste so good to you, because it is, it's mildly salty water. And then you need to stay in the house for about 3 to 4 hours because it's going to completely empty your bowel tract without damaging you. So that's the focus here, without damaging your villi, without damaging your digestive tract. Your peristalsis is actually going to move things down, not just you sitting there and it all coming out. You really want to be gentle with your body. So if you ever feel like you need a little more support, which is perfectly fine, we do need it from time to time, or after a trip, after vacation, after you've been sick, those types of things. Those are the opportunities I would say to go ahead and do a complete flush of your body. But right after, I want you to build your body back up with some probiotics, as well as some medicinal support, get you right back on track. Okay. Also, early in the morning, brushing teeth. So really think about what you're using for your teeth.
Yes.
These two are made with essential oils. So be very, very careful the toothbrush that you choose, because the bristles are probably gonna start to come out a little bit. That's just because these actually have essential oils in them. So essential oils are 100 times more potent than the actual fruit or vegetable or plant or herb that it came from. So in the morning, being able to get that water in, and then now you're going to boost yourself with these essential oils is another opportunity for greatness. It has xylitol in it, which is a natural sweetener, and glycerin, which is going to help to keep the mouth very, very clean, as well as moisturized. There's a whole bunch of other oils in here, and everything in here you can read, and everything in here is beneficial for the body. If you guys want me to go over this, we can do a little private video. I can show you a little bit more, but I love this stuff. It doesn't burn. It tastes amazing. It is immune boosting because of the ingredients that are inside. So boosting, remember I said this is a mucosal membrane that we have in our body. So having your body get boosted first thing in the morning is going to be amazing for you. And it's non-toxic, so that's even better.
Is that doTERRA, Ty?
Yes, yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I use doTERRA, the On Guard.
Yes, that's absolutely, that's what it's come from. So yeah, grab you some of that. And then, so this was the immune shield. I think I sent this to you already. So the immune shield that I was using, they have a gold and they have a silver. So silver ions are amazing in the body. Amazing, amazing. They will kill any type of bacteria that you may have growing without damaging your own natural, healthy, and beneficial bacteria. This was this has fulvic acid. It also has gold. And then it also has the iron that we were talking about.
Like colloidal silver?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's my family. They so old school. They've been using this stuff forever.
Colloidal silver and colloidal gold are amazing for the body. They are. But you got to have a healthy and supportive lifestyle as well. But these are amazing options that will help to boost your immune system, keep your body absorbing the amount of immune system, immuno boosters that you need, as well as all of those minerals. So this, I would say, like the gold standard would be this, and then your sea moss. Perfect. Absolutely wonderful for your body. And I think that was it. I didn't go into like after my shower or anything like that, but if you guys want to know that, I do use, what do I use? Dr. Bronner's, and then I also use shea butter. Right now I'm using Oyin, but find something that you like. All natural for the body. You can read every ingredient. It's called the burnt sugar pomade. So I like things that you and I have talked before. It needs to be safe enough for me to use on my body and in my hair and in my body if I wanted to eat it. Like I really like my products to be very, very safe. And this product is one of those. So I would say probably if you're going to do shea butter, you can probably buy that off of Amazon. There are some other options. You can mix your own essential oils with it, make it smell the way that you desire. But remember, your body, this is our biggest one, right? Number one, it's absorbing everything we put on it first thing in the morning. You want to make sure you're getting the best quality that you can to support yourself throughout the day. I do wash my hair as well with my Dr. Bronner's. The other natural hair products I use are from Melanin Hair Care. Those are all natural products and they're all homemade. So she's awesome too if you guys are interested in that. But remember, the best option for you too is to look at that label, see what's going on. This is still full of pores, so that's still going to go into your body. Now we're right at our brain. So be very, very careful. You're going to absorb it. It's going to be right in that brain. We don't want any issues with that brilliant brain. So I think that's it. I think that's all of my morning routine. I think I did everything. Yeah, I talked about the tea tree. All right. Questions or concerns?
No, this was great. Thank
All
you.
right. Awesome. All right. Well, text me. Let me know if you, oh no, did I record? I probably did. Okay, I think I did. Okay, so yeah, text or call if you have any questions or concerns. If you need me to clarify anything, please do that. I put some more information up in our group, so please check that out. Please respond and connect. And thank you so much for your time and have an amazing day.
Thank you very much. And you have an amazing day as well.
Thank you, sweetie. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.